the only way I see them crumbling is if we get an early goal. If we get an early goal, they will capitulate. They will literally dissolve into nothing, and I can see us running through them like maybe like even 4-5 nil. But that's if we get an early goal. I think they'll set up very defensively, and it'll be up to us to break them down. So I see them parking the tank, maybe getting five at the back, um, and just using Harry Kane as that focal point, holding up the ball and just try and kick us in the counter attack.
I don't.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz and the Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy, Mr. KA, with me. How are you doing, sir? This guy, bro, honestly. And people, we've got our special guest with us again today. He only appears once in a blue moon, but when he comes, we really, really do appreciate it. Taking time off as usual from his cooking show. We have Rash in the building. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, bruv. I'm good. I missed you guys. How you guys been?
Oh, Mr. KA, you're talking. We can't hear you.
You're muted again, brother.
I said, by the way, other sweet fruits are available. Other sweets.
Oh, yeah. Other sweets are available, people.
It's open fruit. It's got the yellow one in it.
Wait, I just thought they changed the name back to Opal Fruits.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Limited.
But yes, people, there are other sweets available out there. Just need to say we're not being paid by Opal Fruits to promote. So there are other
if they do want to
out
pay
there.
us, we'll gladly accept.
Oh yeah, and trust me. Listen, we'll promo you all day long. Don't worry about that. But people, there's another edition of Football Chat. You know what it is. We're gonna go deep into what has happened over the past week, and obviously look forward to what is going to happen in the Premier League. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get them likes up, get them subscriptions up, and all that good stuff. Tell a friend, share, and get it out there. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. There's only one place to start, seeing as Rash is on the show. Obviously, Chelsea have been on a brilliant run. A great start to the season. Obviously, only a draw against Liverpool is where they've dropped points. They've won all the other games, got a good 3-0 victory against Aston Villa over the weekend, and winning in the Champions League. Midweek, obviously got their first trophy in the cabinet with the Super Cup as well. It's all rosy for you, Rash. I mean, Chelsea are doing well. Just tell us how you're feeling about how your team has started the season so far.
To be honest, it started pretty well. I don't want to get ahead of myself because anything can happen because we know what football's like, right? But yeah, it started off really, really well. But there's been times that I've seen us play well, but there's like times like we did against Zenit where we played poor, and Zenit played really, really well. Like they got to second balls and stuff. So I think like our energy is just lacking, and I guess it is the beginning of the season. It'll pick up obviously as the season goes on, but we just have to make these games count. And even against Villa, like we didn't look like our best. Like McGinn was running us down completely, but even us getting 3 goals. I mean, like where it is this season, where it wasn't last season, just be more clinical. That's basically comes down to it, like just finishing off our chances. But last season, I think we were making more chances, but this season we're making less. But yeah, we're finishing our chances. Mate, I'm happy. I couldn't be more happy than where we're at. We can't get too ahead of ourselves because obviously United will pick up, City will pick up, Liverpool will pick up. Well, Liverpool might drop off because of African nations when Salah and Mane go off. But then we've got the Club World Championship because we won the Champions League. So we'll be off for that as well. So yeah, there's things to consider that's coming up, especially over the winter period, that might slow a couple of teams down, but I hope not. Yeah, and then obviously looking at the team a bit deeper and into Sal, the debut of Sal, that
Mhm.
everyone can see that the guy needs a bit of time, to settle in. He got brought off, and I'm glad he got brought off. To be fair, because we could have been down a couple of goals if if Villa were more clinical that day.
No,
But
100%. 100%.
definitely. But for me, like Kovacic is like our engine right now, especially when Kante doesn't play.
Yeah, sorry. Where is he? Is he injured?
I think he's got like a niggly injury. He's not 100% yet. And they don't want to risk him, especially against like weaker teams like Zenit and like Villa, who we should be beating without him. So I think we'll save him. I think, to be honest, he'll play against Spurs. I think potentially we'll play Kante, and I think Georgina will have to play. So I think he'll go Kante and Georgina, see how Kante performs, and bring him off in like the 50th, 60th minute, depending on how he's feeling. You just have to nurse him through, because he's picking up injuries, man. Like we've seen it, right? He's not
Yeah.
he can't play a full season anymore. And he's getting to that age, but we just need to keep him as fit as possible, I guess. But yeah.
No, 100. But in terms of, obviously, you said it, you're not trying to get too carried away. You're not trying to get ahead of yourself, because obviously it's a long season, but it has started well. And you said that you feel like you were creating more chances last season, but obviously you being more clinical this season. One of the biggest reasons is obviously the man in my background.
Timo Werner being dropped. That's the reason.
To be honest, though, like I feel like if Werner and Havertz and Lukaku start together, I think that would maybe work a bit better. That hasn't been tried yet. Werner hasn't been tried at all with Lukaku. He's been brought on as a sub, gets like 3 minutes at the end of the game. I feel like he's been a bit unlucky in that sense. But like we've got too much competition, man. Like
the squad's stacked.
Yeah, so it's that like Ziyech is putting in performances now as well. Like he's coming back into it. Pulisic just picked up another little injury, so he's out. So I feel like I wouldn't even be surprised if Werner started against Spurs, but I doubt it, because they'll start Mount. But I don't know. Like Mount had a really bad game against like Zenit. Like,
Lord Mason Mount, bro.
And but to be honest, like he puts in a shift. Like you guys might like. I know your guys' thoughts on Mount, yeah. So like,
I don't mind Mount.
I understand. Huh?
I don't mind Mount. So
Oh, okay.
no, I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
him as. I think he's decent. I like him as a player.
yeah, but I feel like he's obviously still quite young. He's still got a lot to learn. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want it to get to his head. Obviously, he won the Champions League, but he hasn't won a league yet. And you have to remain consistent, right? To be proven as world class, you can't just be those one season wonders. You need to keep at that level. And I feel like we're obviously winning games, but individual performances, when you see people touch the ball, move, lose the ball, how they react, you see that when you watch these games. And then yeah, so for me, like I don't know, I think Mount can turn it around, but against Zenit, he was poor. That's me being clinical. Like I could be raving on about it, because yeah, he's like through the youth system, right? Like our youth system's like producing player after player each season. Like you see like Mount coming through. Now this season you've seen Chalobah coming through. Like I was telling like my boys last season, I'd be like Chalobah's been killing it in like the French league. Like been like absolutely smashing it, playing CDM there. Like the guy is like on another level, and like they're like he won't play for Chelsea. That guy won't get a touch in. But look at him now. Like every time he plays, he looks solid.
I'm sorry, guys, for all the shorting.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Sorry.
No one is paying attention to what you're doing. You didn't need to announce that.
Apologies.
But no, it's cool. It's good. I mean, like our good like assist heads was against Liverpool. I like don't even get me started on the Liverpool game, bro. Like I can pick out all the holes sitting here and how much that ref just undermined us, and he made a dumb decision the other day as well. So you can see how competent his refereeing skills are. Anthony Taylor, by the way, if you lot don't know, have a look up. But yeah, I reckon Spurs will come out fighting, I don't know if Son's 100%. If he's not, because he had that niggly injury.
We'll get to the Spurs. We'll get to the Spurs.
Yeah,
but
but,
just in terms of Lukaku and his impact, because we know in the group, but the people don't know how you felt about Lukaku, because your feelings about
and you
Lukaku
too,
were
Mr. TJ.
similar to my feelings
Yeah,
about Lukaku.
similar to yours.
But they know that. But we want to hear from Rash, the Chelsea fan.
Okay.
Go on.
Like,
go on.
I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm gonna be truthful. I was not happy. Yeah, I was excited, but I was not happy. I would have been more happy and more excited if we signed Haaland, like we were supposed to, right? If that would have happened, man, I would have exploded. Like, I wouldn't have stopped. Like, I would have flipping gone out and Haaland everything up. This room would have been the Haaland posters everywhere. Like, I would have got a Haaland tattoo on my bum, bro. It would have been that hard, right? So I'm not even lying, but
There's a choice of words.
yeah, Lukaku had. I literally like Lukaku coming. I obviously like I didn't want it happening. The reason why I didn't want it happening, everybody knows that when he was at Everton, he was going to come to Chelsea, and that didn't happen because he went to United. Obviously, he went to United due to friendships with Pogba. We can understand like players want to play with their friends, and I get that. But as a fan, as a person who believed that he's going to come back to Chelsea where he belongs after he's molded himself, went to United, it didn't work out. Went to Inter, 2 seasons at Inter, yeah, he did well, but can we really rate the Italian league is similar to the Premier League? Like, it's very different. Like,
Get off your Premier League high horse, mate. It's still a top league.
it's the top. Like,
it's not as good as the Premier League, but it's still a decent league.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm not saying here that the Italians is a bad league, because it isn't. It's a great league. I mean, like, there's teams in there that I would be feared to play. Like, if you say to me like, "Oh, you'll be playing Napoli next week," I'd be like scared to play Napoli. And teams that
started well.
Yeah, so like there's like Sassuolo, like all these teams that people don't know of. Atlanta, you wouldn't hear about these teams a couple of years ago. So yeah, trust me, like the Italian league's big, like Serie A is like coming back into it. But I just like, we know the guy, like even when he was at Serie A, he didn't score in big games. Like those are the facts. Yeah, like how many goals did he get against the top 4, like against Juventus, against like the ACs, against
Juve, I think against Juve he got last season, he got 1. Atalanta he didn't score against. AC Milan was the only one that he scored. And I'm talking about both seasons. AC Milan is the only team he scored against consistently in terms of like big teams in Serie A. So
those
that goes to show.
Right? Those are the penalties.
No, he actually scored from open play against AC. But
that's the thing. At Chelsea, he won't get pens.
Will he not? Will Georgina still be the penalty taker?
Of course, bruv. Of course. Are you being silly?
Hey, I'm just asking the question.
Of course, 100%. 100%, bruv. It's like, if you look at it, if you really realistically think about it, your best penalty taker in United's team is Bruno.
Yeah.
So you really think Ronaldo's going to take your penalties?
Yeah.
Do you really think he would, though?
Yes. Like, I'm not hesitating.
It hasn't happened yet. But I think like Bruno would take it still. I still honestly think Bruno would still take it, because Ronaldo's like penalties aren't great. Like his record.
Yeah, his record is abysmal, but he probably will. But back to Lukaku.
I think he's old enough now, and he's wise enough to think like, you know what, it's about the team, and he'll give it to Bruno. So like Bruno's record's ridiculous. It's up like the similar technique to Jorginho's. Like I was watching highlights today actually of with Chelsea when Oscar used to play for us, and Oscar did that skip up step before Georgina. So when he used to play penalties from us, he did the little hop step, and I was like, "Yo, Oscar did it first." And
Oscar probably wasn't even the first person to do it. There was someone who did it before him.
Probably was, and I was like, "Yo, okay." I thought Georgina first created that like little stutter hop step, whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
But yeah, in terms of all right, your next test is now
yeah,
Tottenham Hotspur,
yeah.
away at the Hotspur. What are you expecting from this game at Tottenham? Are you expecting similar to what you've seen from Chelsea, where you expect a stubborn test and for you lot to go and get the 3 points, or are you anticipating with Spurs having one or two players back that they'll be able to give you lot a test, even though they ended up drawing today in the Conference League earlier on against Rennes?
See, that's the thing, right? See, with Spurs, it's a bit of a difficult one because they'd lose to like a Palace, but they'll be ready to play us. So I'm not gonna go in there thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna smash them 3-0, because I know it's gonna be a tough game. They're gonna be ready for this, especially now that they drew against Rennes and they lost against Palace last week. So they're definitely gonna be up for it, no matter what, really. But I wouldn't be surprised if if we the only way I see them crumbling is if we get an early goal. If we get an early goal, they will capitulate. They will literally dissolve into nothing, and I can see us running through them like maybe like even 4-5 nil. But that's if we get an early goal. I think they'll set up very defensively, and it'll be up to us to break them down. So I see them parking the tank, maybe getting 5 at the back. Um, and just using Harry Kane as that focal point, holding up the ball and just try and kick us in the counter attack.
I don't know, because they haven't really got the defenders in place to
But
sit back the whole game, and also they might be without Son, so it's gonna be hard to play that counter-attacking game with just Kane, Bergwijn more. It's not quite the same.
They don't have the players to play possession. Then do you know what I
Trust me,
mean?
they don't. They really don't.
They have to kind of just like soak up the pressure and try hitting us in the break. That's the only way. The only way I see Spurs kind of playing. Like I don't see any like they're sent. Who are the centre mids? Who are the CMs?
Højbjerg and I think Skip maybe.
Well, Højbjerg skipping Winks was
Yeah,
down to obviously the Argentinian players having to go on quarantine.
yeah, but are they back?
They will be. So Lo Celso will definitely. Lo Celso, Sanchez, and Romero will all be back for the game against Chelsea on Sunday because
When you say that to me, I look at that CM selection and I'm like, it doesn't scare me. Where's the
no,
creativity in there?
I wouldn't say it scares you, but in terms, I think them getting Lo Celso back is a big plus for them because he's probably the only one in that midfield that can retain the ball and actually dictate a game.
Yeah.
He's the only one. But if I'm Chelsea, I wouldn't be scared of that. I wouldn't be scared of anything because at this moment in time, it looks like Son is not going to make it. Bergwijn earlier in the Rennes game went off injured, so he's not going to play on Sunday either. So personally, I'd be very confident if I was a Chelsea fan about going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm always confident. I'm 100% through and through confident. Like, but I'm not gonna sit here and think like I'm overly confident because I've seen cracks in our play. Like we're a bit slow to react, and I think Spurs will definitely be up for this game. Nuno will get them up for this game. Like he's not an idiot. Like for the Wolves, every time Wolves played a big team, they were always up for it. They'd always get a few goals against us. They'd beat City a few times. I mean, Spurs have beaten City this season without Harry Kane. Fair enough, they had Son, but if they played that similar way on the attacking way, they got their goals. It's literally counter attack. Was what they did. They waited for the press, but it's up to us where we have to just counter their attack with our defense. So literally, like I feel like I don't think Thiago will play. I feel like it'll be Rudiger, Christensen, Aspelli. Actually, no. Yeah, no, it'd be Rudiger, Christensen, Chalobah, Aspelli, Alonso. I think I want Kante to play because he always plays against Spurs. But I feel like it will be Kovacic and Georgina because that's just it's just kind of solidified. That's how it's going to be from now on. And Havertz, I really want Werner to play, but it probably will be Mount and obviously Lukaku up front.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's a strong enough team to beat this Tottenham Hotspur side, but we're going to see what happens. Mr. KA, for you, obviously Spurs finally lost, absolutely destroyed by Crystal Palace, obviously losing Tanganga to a red card, and obviously earlier on drawing to Rennes. In terms of what you've seen from Tottenham Hotspur in these past two games, has the honeymoon period ended for Nuno already?
It's coming to an end, I would say. I don't think it's completely shut, because if they go ahead and beat Arsenal when we play them in the next couple of when we play them in the next couple of weeks. So if you didn't hear me, I'll just start again. I was just saying I don't think it's ended, the honeymoon period. I do think it's coming to a halt. It's slowing down, but I think they've still got a big game in Arsenal. Say whether it's a top 6 game or whatever, you call it whatever you want, but it's a big game in terms of the London derby and the rivalry. So I think that if they win that, then they'll still be firmly within their honeymoon period, and they'll be up for it. No matter who they have, they'll get up for it. I think Nuno will be able to get the players up for it because he's experienced the Premier League. He knows about the different rivalries up and down the league. He knows about Arsenal, Tottenham. So I don't think the honeymoon period is over, because you can still argue, does Nuno know his full strength team? Has he had a full strength team to pick from? So, because at the beginning they were starting with Aurier, now look at him, where is he now? So it's like you could talk about different positions and see how it's chopped and changed. Just to round it up, I don't think the honeymoon period is over, but they're on rocky grounds.
Yeah. Not fair enough. But in terms of the game against Chelsea, they go into it not in good form. As I said, losing losing Palace and then drawing with Rennes. Obviously, I said Bergwijn's out. Son looks like he's not gonna be fit. They're still as much as we don't rate them. The first 3 games, Dyer and Sanchez kept clean sheets in those 3 games. Dyer looks like he's not going to be fit either. You talked about Spurs playing on the counter-attack. Their only outlet now looks like Lucas Moura. So in terms of them, what can they do to try and counteract a very, very, very good Chelsea side that are highly confident right now?
It's going to be very hard, because I feel like Chelsea will be a hard team to counter attack against, because they have a good balance to their team. So they have the defensive midfielders, they have the speed at the back in Reece James and other players to get back and stop these attacks. And I think without Son, your counter attack is going to lose a lot of pace. It's going to lose a lot of creativity, and especially like you've lost not even just Son, you've lost 2 creative players who are your fast players in Bergwijn and Son if they don't play. So it's going to be hard relying on Lucas Moura. He's not usually a 90 minutes guy for Spurs. So it'll be hard to see him do something for 90 minutes and trouble. Obviously, we all saw his one game in the Champions League where he put Tottenham on his back. But
semi-final against Ajax, yeah.
Yeah, but that was a one-off game, and then that was against Ajax as well. Chelsea are going to be different opponents. So I think it'll be tough for them. I think Dyer will be a big miss. He's like transformed into this pretty decent centre back, where he knows how to command the back line. He knows how to pass from his midfield experience. So he brings a calming presence, and I think they're going to miss it. Sanchez being back, but I don't think it'll be enough. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how big the injury is.
What's been said is he could make it back for the Chelsea game, but he's 50-50, Eric Dyer, whereas Son is looking like 70-30 that he's not going to make it for the Chelsea game. And I think it's too early in the season for them to start trying to give man pain-killing injections and horse placentas and all the rest of it. So I can't see Son making it. But now I agree. I think, as I said, the way how him and Davinson Sanchez have started, it's going to be a big miss for him. We'll see what happens. Rash, finally from you, because I actually don't know when we're going to next going to get you on. Hopefully, you're on more regularly. But for you, what are your expectations for Chelsea this season? What do you see happening? Do you see yourself retaining the Champions League, winning the Premier League? What do you think? What do you think is going to be the final thing? Not saying that you're getting ahead of yourself, but just as a fan, what are your expectations?
As a fan, my expectations are at least 2 trophies this season. That being whatever they are. That's my honest opinion. People might not like it, but I see us in a very strong position considering how well defensively we're set up, and it's not easy to score past us. If it was easy to score past us, I would probably say top 4, maybe a trophy. But the fact that we're so defensively sound, and now we've got Lukaku as well, who's proving me a bit wrong. Hold my hands up to that. So now we've got Lukaku, but I just feel like we still have that vulnerability of just getting ahead of ourselves, and you can see the way that we're playing. So I just want us to keep our head on the ground. And I think Tuchel has said that to them as well, and he's quite good at analyzing that with them and showing them that. So they're all quite level-headed at being quite a young squad anyway. So I feel like I'm not going to say we're going to win the league, but I definitely say FA Cup, maybe possibly League Cup as well. But
No, behave yourself. Behave
the-
yourself,
the-
mate. Behave yourself.
I want us. I no. It's the league's going to be difficult, bruv. Like, look, like Liverpool are there, but Liverpool definitely will drop out when the African nation comes up, right? So that's going to slow them down a bit. And but like United, like they're just getting started. Don't roll your flipping eyes, bruv. Like United are just getting started. Like you might not think it. Like Sancho, when he gets like embedded into that team, like things are going to be popping off like differently.
I know
And
that.
Ronaldo's just come back. When Ronaldo starts warming up as well, when his twinkly toes start twinkling, then he's just gonna start banging shit in like differently. So that's inevitable. It's just a matter of time. People are judging. I feel like with United, like people are judging them a bit too soon after the young boys incident. I mean, it's happened to all the great teams, right? These flash in the pans does happen. You made Ollie made stupid subs when he didn't need to make them. The red card didn't help as well. So all of these things played against you. And then people were analyzing you lot, the character you lot showed against the character we showed at Anfield.
Mm-hmm.
And then what people are not like realizing is that you showed character, but then your 2 best players get subbed off. And then then it's a bit stupid, isn't it? You kind of are chasing the game. But I don't know. Ollie won't last long. Conte will come in.
How long have we've been saying this for ages about Ollie? Like he's gonna go. Like
bro,
he's Fergie's boy.
If United don't qualify, I won't say they're not going to qualify from the group because they probably will. But there was that one season when United did the easy group and they didn't qualify. When was that?
I think that was under Van Gaal.
Louis van Gaal.
Yeah, they went into Europa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I can't even remember when season that was. But yeah, things like that. And you guys have started Rooney then as well. So it was quite a while back. But yeah, man, I hope, to be honest, United, like Varane needs to settle in, Sancho needs to settle in. They've got a sick team, like you can't get it twisted. But the ones I am very, very worried about is Arsenal. Like worried about
this guy is gaslighting, bro.
I know he's trying.
No, I'm being serious.
He hasn't even mentioned City once.
He hasn't mentioned City once, you know.
Yeah, after 20 minutes.
Mention City, bro. City are irrelevant at this point. The City are
Arsenal
irrelevant. Why don't you
irrelevant?
Nah, Arsenal are relevant right now because I've mentioned it because I'm worried about them. we all know that they're struggling and they need to just come back to where they were. But yeah, I'm not gonna say too much because you know my thoughts and feelings in it. But yeah, if you want me to talk about, obviously Liverpool, like I've said, when African nation comes up, it's gonna be tough, bro. Like how long does that thing last for? Like a month.
Mm-hmm.
So in that month, there's like 4 games, but it's over December, so potentially could be 5 to 6 games because of that period. And who knows how far like Egypt will go to, right?
I don't see Egypt getting far. I don't know who's on their team.
Bro, Egypt, them North African teams
Mo
always
Salah,
get far,
innit?
bro. Mo Salah, innit? Them Algeria, bro.
That's
Yeah.
because
Get far, bro.
the sub-Saharan team is always shooting us up in the foot, bro. Because they don't know how to play together and do tactics.
Coming from a
Salah-
salty Ghanaian, bro.
Salah be like, look, I'll give you some peas in it. I'll set you some things on the side. Just let's win today. Then you sort that next week. You don't know, bro. Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, Rash, you're saying FA Cup, League Cup. I think you're lowering the bar. But I know you expect Chelsea to challenge for the league and
obviously
have a Champions League run.
It goes without saying so, but I'm not going to say we're going to retain the Champions League because that's a very, very, very audacious thing to say. But
100.
stranger things have happened.
Of course,
things have happened. You know?
Of course, but we have to move on because time is running. The clock is running. Mr. KA's face is off the screen, bruv, but we need to talk about.
He's blowing his nose.
Oh, people, if you don't know, Mr. K has got the Rona. So
Hey. Track
no
that
people,
statement.
no people. He hasn't got the Rona. He's just got a cold.
He's got common cold. Everyone, remember what a cold was?
Yeah,
like, people can't get colds no more.
You know, like that. But
can't get colds no more.
Mr. KA, bruv, Arsenal finally gotten a win in the Premier League, a 1-0 win over Norwich, bruv. Is it now Arteta in, bro? Is this the turnaround? Is this the long unbeaten run now that Arsenal are going to go on, bruv, and get back into the top 4? What are we looking at?
Well, I was never Arteta out, but
Arteta in.
I'm always not against it because I do think he's, as I said, putting the foot in the past. Like he's just unsure how ready he is for this type of job, and if he will have the time for the time that he needs as a young manager, and in the state that the club is in as a whole, the team is in as a whole, and the project that they're trying to sell to the fans and sell to the world. Trust the process. We're being told. Norwich, we beat them. We beat them 1-0.
Can I ask a question?
Go on, Rash.
What's the process?
To ask me, I don't even know.
That's what I mean. Like
Arteta's talking about like the players we bought were young, give them time. I don't even know, to be honest.
Mason Mount had 2 seasons.
Yeah, you spoke for like half an hour about Chelsea, mate.
No.
Let's not talk about Mason
I'm just
Mount.
using as an example. You're talking about young players, right? Reece James, Hudson-Odoi, Mason Mount, all very young players, had their season.
Everyone develops differently. Look at Lukaku. He's in his prime now. He was at Chelsea and he's flopped.
Nketiah, like if you guys don't play him, then what is he gonna do, bruv? Like the guy.
You guys didn't play all your youth team. You loaned half of them out. You just said Chalobah was loaned out in the Dutch league and he was killing.
Yeah, but so was Mount. Mount was loaned out to Derby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we're not loaning players out.
Yeah, but you are though.
Where's Nketiah been?
Like you sold Willock. Like the guy,
he's not a part of the process.
Yeah, but these young players, like you think that are part of the process, you're gonna build Arsenal. The team are selling them, and like
Willock was never good enough. You remember my
You can't.
No,
you
don't
can't say that.
just because he's scoring goals at Newcastle at Newcastle that struggle to stay in the Premiership every other year. That's why he's shining brightly. TJ, remember about 2 years ago when Mr. Truth was talking about Reece Nelson, Willock, all these players, Smith Rowe coming through. I said no, they're not good enough.
He did.
Where are they all now? Apparently, they should be now first team playing ticky-tacky Arsenal way football. Where are they all now? Reece James has faded off to
Reece Nelson.
Reece Nelson has faded off into the abyss. We don't even know where he is anymore.
Hold on, did you lot? He's gone. Where's he gone? Fenerbahce? Wait, he's gone. Fiorentina? No, that's.
He got loaned out, I think, last season. No, I think Torreira's gone to like
He's gone to Fiorentina.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You see, like all these young players that come in, right? They don't settle, and you move them on. Like, look what's happened to Martinelli. That guy was a machine, bruv. And then he just died off. Like, when was the last time like Arsenal signed like a name? It was Aubameyang. And how long ago was that? And you guys go out and you spend 75 million on Pepe. Like Pepe, real talk. And then Ben White.
Wait, what's that got to do with the price of milk? You went and spent how much on Werner? What's Werner doing?
I'm not saying Werner's doing well. He still won a Champions League.
And who is saying Pepe's doing well?
He still puts in the effort.
Mate, Bertrand has a Champions League medal. Like, we can name the shit players who have Champions League medals.
But he moves into the correct position.
Oh, don't give me that. Contribute with his runs in like big spaces.
The movement is.
Don't give me that rubbish, mate. Was he bought for? Was it like 90 million, 95 million, whatever he was bought for to make runs?
57 million.
However much he was bought for, was he bought to make runs? No, he was bought to score goals after he was a top goal scorer in the German league.
It didn't happen.
And then he flopped, so he went out and got Lukaku.
The same thing didn't happen when Sanchez went to Man United. Like, it didn't work. But he was still in the league. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's just that thing.
Then all this stuff you're saying about Arsenal, I can say the same thing. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, then it doesn't. Don't
so
say
we can agree, disagree.
There's a process to all this thing. Like, what's the process? If you don't know what the process is, you can't tell me it's a process when you're selling good players like Willock and telling me his shit.
Willock is not.
You can't say to me.
So will Willock start in Chelsea team?
In the Premier League, if you play for Newcastle, you can't say to me, "Oh, you're shit."
I never said he was shit. I said he's not at that level that you need to be.
He made 7 assists and 7 goals in the last 8 appearances for Newcastle.
He's not a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player.
When he played consistently, he's a good player. He was getting called up for England if it wasn't for all the politics behind it.
No, media talk. Media just talk. Troy, when a player scores goals.
A chance from being called up for England and taken to the Euros.
Well, rumors don't mean nothing. But you can say, so will Willock play for Chelsea? Would he start right now? Would he walk into the Chelsea team?
Obviously
be honest.
Obviously
not, because he's not at that level. This is what I'm trying to tell you. He's a good player, but he's not Arsenal. Obviously, sorry, and obviously that statement can be made into anything. Obviously, what is Arsenal's level? We're crap right now. I know. Come on.
Oh.
Come on. See, look. Come on.
Like, he's like, if not similar,
your face. You know what you said.
Look, very similar, yeah. Like, but like the fact that
he's a different player, but go on.
A different player, yeah, I get that. But they have a similar impact to the way they play. If you're telling me if you had Willock and Odegaard and Aubameyang, that wouldn't shit people up.
No. Joseph Willock.
Willock is better than Pepe, or Pepe is better than Willock?
Pepe's not even getting into the first team. Sorry?
But that's what I mean. The man, like, why?
But
Who are you playing then? What's the team?
We're playing, you know the team. We play Smith Rowe, we play Saka, we play Aubameyang. That's more or less our front attacking players.
To be honest, like, Smith Rowe is good. I'll give you Smith Rowe and Saka, the one good thing about your squad right now, but you need I don't even know what Arsenal.
Obviously, we can spend a whole hour talking about Arsenal and more. And I agree. I agree. But back to the question, I don't know if Arteta, how long he can have and how long he should have. The board don't really come out and they come out and support him, but they don't really come out and let us know really what the project is. So we can say it, but we Arsenal fans don't really know. In previous podcasts, if you watch them, you'll see how lost we were when it came to Arsenal. We just didn't know what to say. We were defeated at the beginning of the season. So I can say these things, but I know, as you said, what does it even mean? But that's what they're trying to sell to us. And that's just the rhetoric that I'm just repeating right now. And when it comes to Arteta's time, I think he will be given time. I talked about in previous podcasts that the Tottenham game will be a big game. And I think they will kind of give him up until around Christmas, where they'll start to think long and hard. Okay, where are we at? Because Arsenal, this is the first time in a long time Arsenal haven't qualified for Europe, and that's a big thing. If we do it again, that's no excuses. I don't think the board will be happy with that, because we can't sign. We can't really make signings without being in Europe, because we haven't got anything to draw players to our team. We haven't really got. We've got the name Arsenal in a way, but it's not a strong enough name compared to the other big names, like even Leicester now. Leicester has a bit more of a pull than Arsenal do as a named club, because they recently won the Premiership. They recently won the FA Cup. So
No,
I don't know. I don't know. To be honest.
I mean, I enjoyed watching you two have that debate. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. More a spark to the body, bro. I was like, this is to get rash on him more often, bro.
Well, I was struggling through that, man. I just felt my nose like just fighting against me, because it's blocked up right now. I'm like, I can't even breathe, but I had to fight through it.
No, but 100%. And I get what Rash is saying. What's coming? Like, what is the process? I don't even know. That's why I laughed when Mr. KA said it. But I can understand why Arsenal fans don't even know, because from what they're seeing on the pitch, there's nothing that's showing them what is actually happening. And when Arteta comes out and says anything, it's more about just having young players and giving him time. And the fans need to be real fans and support the team instead of actually criticizing him. But we'll find out. But people, I just wanted to bring Arsenal in because they actually won. So we have to celebrate that, because we can't be seen every time Arsenal lose, we want to talk about it on the body, but when they win, they don't. So we had to give Mr. K his little 2 minutes to celebrate the victory against Norwich, the relegation battle, the decider between Arsenal and Norwich.
I can't even celebrate, but we've got it's going to be a while before, apart from Tottenham. We don't really face a
don't
top
play anyone.
6 team.
I think you lot don't play us until like November or something like that.
Yeah, because like we got Tottenham the end of September, then we have Leicester end of October, and then we have Liverpool in November. And then, as you said, we have Man United in November as well.
Yeah, because I know
Burnley.
We play Burnley. So we're going to be fighting for that 17th spot.
Burnley away, bruv.
Well, you lot don't like going. You lot don't like going Burnley away either. But,
you lot hate Burnley. You got McNeil to worry about. That man on his left foot.
It's true, but we've got to move on again because time is flying through. Before we go into predictions, there's one more thing we need to speak about that's happened in the Premier League. Obviously, over the course of the weekend, Liverpool won 3-0 against Leeds, and Mo Salah got his 100th goal in the Premier League. 100 goals in 162 matches. He becomes, I think he's the 5th fastest player to get to 100 goals, and he's the 30th player to get 100 goals in the Premier League. So salute to him. Rash, for you, is he the best African player to play in the Premier League?
What a question to ask. To ask a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, I know.
You are asking me. I think in this generation,
I was going to say Babayaro.
But in the last generation, hell no. Babayaro. My guy, the guy who created that left back role for Ashley Cole to come and done it. My guy, Babayaro. But no, for this generation, yes. But obviously last generation, Drogba has just done too much for football, not alone for football, but for Africa as a continent as alone. Like his charitable work, the amount of hospitals that he's built, and people will know this. They all know how like he's treated back home. Like people like treat him ridiculously because of how much he does. But in the terms of Salah being up there as being one of the greatest of all time, you can probably say yes. It depends how long his career lasts for, I guess. 100 goals is great. But like it's hard for me because like I like a player who consistently plays high press football, and so like I prefer the way Mane attacks the game to where Salah attacks the game. Salah kind of reads the game quite differently to Mane. Mane's always high octane, get in there, get their foot in there, close down, close down, close down. Whereas Salah kind of just floats into it and then gets into the right position and gets a cheeky goal every now and then. So for me, as a player, I don't like the way he plays. He does great as he does it, but if you tallied him up to say Suarez, I'd be picking Suarez every day of the week because, like, if I remember football in my mind, I can pick out so many Suarez goals that I can think of compared to any Salah goals. Like I can't think of any mad Salah goals. I can't. I knew apart from the one that he scored against Chelsea when they beat us 2-0 when he scored past Kepa. That's the only goal that I can think of out of 100 that I can put a stamp on it. Can you guys think of any?
There was one against Tottenham. He scored a bad man goal against Tottenham, and I think that was a 2-2 where Sugar Cane got the penalty in like the last minute. I think the goal that he scored was a good goal. I'm just trying to think because I'm not.
That's a good question.
I'm not a Mo Salah fan, so
yeah.
I can't say he scored a couple screamers as well. I just can't remember who they were against. But
that's what I mean. Like, if you want to be considered as one of the greatest of all time, then you got to be up there with some of the goals. Like I can think of like maybe 20 times that Alan Shearer scored some bangers, like Drogba scored bangers, Scholesy, Rooney, maybe like Ronaldo, Tevez, Aguero's, like David Silva's. You could chuck them all in there. Michael Owens, Robbie Fowler's. I can think of all these times where these guys have scored. Eric Cantona's, all these goals that people have scored. But yeah, Salah can put a goal away, but I can't think of a time where I've stood up and gone, how has he done that? But yeah, he's a good player.
100%. Mr. K, does Mo Salah get disrespected? Obviously, Rash alluded to it. He's like, I don't really remember Mo Salah goals. None of us can really pick out too many. Does he get disrespected? He scored 100 goals in 162 games. He had a very he had a very difficult time when he went to Chelsea, and I understand it was under Maureen and all that, and we know how Maureen reacts with certain players. He's come to Liverpool and he's absolutely banged and not looked back. The time away at Roma in Serie A was good for him as well. Is he disrespected because as much as Liverpool fans rate him highly and say he's an all-time great, and none of the other fans see him that way? Is there a little bit of disrespect from the other fans?
That is an interesting question as well, because he should be getting more plaudits, more flowers given to him. Because he came back in second spell in the league. He's been consistently a top player, fighting for golden boots, getting up there with the assists. So he's been a good player. So when I never thought of it like that, but when you think about it, you do think, yeah, he has done bits coming to the league, and he's been consistent. And he seems like he's going to have another good season again. So he is a player that you fear when you talk about when you face a team. Is there someone who you fear on a team? Mo Salah is going to bring the fear of anyone any given day. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just something about his character or something the way he plays. As Rash said, he knows how to get into good positions, but he doesn't. Can you say he takes over games? Does he string passes together? So that's why you don't really maybe remember him, because of his style of playing. He just knows how to get into good positions, which is amazing skill, but sometimes it can be, which sounds weird in itself, me just saying it, forgettable in some ways, even though he is a consistently great player.
And this is it, because the one thing we have to say, I mean, I'm not a Mo Salah fan. I agree with you lot when I agree with Rash. I don't like the way how he plays football. It's too, and it might have something to do with the fact that we're a little bit old school and what we're used to seeing as well. He's more pace and power, and we're used to obviously all the skills and the rest of it, and blah blah blah, and the different types of players that we like, and. We just look at Mo Salah and I just think greedy, selfish. Unless he scores, he doesn't really do much in the game, sort of thing. That's how I I see him. Whereas Mane, who Rash mentioned, who Rash said he prefers, who's not too far away, he's got 97 Premier League goals. So he's not too far away from the 100 club himself. Mane is the type of player that I probably prefer over Salah because he's more selfless. Finishing isn't great, as we saw in the game against Leeds. Like, he needs a bag of chances to score, but I think we just like him more as a player. But Rash, for you, if he were to get Liverpool another league title, would you then start to respect him more and see him more with the elite players, or is he always going to have this stigma where he's just never going to get there?
For Liverpool as a club, I feel like he's surpassed any striker that's played for that club. He's won. Don't forget, he's won in the Champions League as well, right? So you got the Champions League, and he's got the Premier League, which has eluded them for the longest time. But for their club, I think he's amazing. But like I said, like, you can't deny the guy's goal scoring ability, the way he just, I don't know how he does it sometimes, but he just, the knack of him getting a goal. Like, you wouldn't see him touch the balls for 75 minutes and it just drops to him in the middle of the penalty area and he just bangs it in. And like, there were other players like who used to do that back in the day. Like, Rooney was really good at doing that. Like, you wouldn't see him for the whole game and then just turn up for like a split second. So these kind of players, they have that little like miracle touch about him, and he's got that. So I can't say that he's a crap player because he's not. He can just change the game in an instant, but he's not that type of player to boss the game. Like, he's not a bosser. You wouldn't see him like be like, give me the ball, and then he pick up the ball and run at a player and then do 2-3 players and then try a shot. He's not that type of player. And I think that's what I like about my players. I like them to be a bit of a leader, and I don't see him as a leader. That's why I prefer Mane more, because he gets fired up about it, and he starts like pushing people around. But yeah, his shooting does need to improve drastically. But
let's not be a prisoner of the moment with Mane, because he's had 30 goals a season.
100%. But I've always said that about Mane. I said, if Mane was more consistent in his finishing, he'd score more goals than Salah. He'd score more goals than Salah if he's more consistent with his finishing. That's how many times he gets in good positions and how many positions he gets. So with Mane, I see him as a very good player. And I said I like him more than I like Salah, but his finishing is the one thing that needs to improve. But listen, credit to Mo Salah. He's joined the Premier League 100 club, and you've got to do nothing but respect what he has done for the football club and what he has done in the Premier League so far, and his career isn't over yet. But man, we need to move on to the predictions. Rash, this will be your first time joining in with our predictions. Unfortunately, people, we haven't got our host for the predictions. He's not here.
We don't need him.
As Mr. K said, we don't need him. So I will be stepping in for the truth in doing the Prem predictions. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many? Oh yeah, we've got 5 games that we're doing predictions for. We only do the big games for the big teams, nothing more than that. The first game is a Burnley versus Arsenal. I've got the truths scores here, so I will say them first, so we all know what's going on. Burnley versus Arsenal. The truth said 10-1 to Burnley, and then he corrected himself. He corrected himself and then said a 1-1 draw. Mr. KA, what are you thinking for this game?
I'm going for another 1-0 win for the Arsenal.
1-0 win for the Arsenal. Rash, for you, what are you saying? What score are you going with Burnley Arsenal?
I'm going 3-1 Burnley.
3-1 Burnley. Rash thinks it's going to be a mauling.
That's me being kind to Arsenal.
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. 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 2-1
You guys aren't giving Burnley the credit they deserve, man.
I'm gonna go to Arsenal. I think.
What
I think
credit do Burnley deserve? They're not a good team anymore. They're actually a dead team
Yeah, I
now.
still feel all right.
I'm not saying that we're
Burnley.
gonna win, by the way. Like, oh, we're gonna go and walk over them. I only predicted 1-0, but they're not as good. It's a bit of a myth.
If they play to their strengths against Arsenal, like just lumping it in there, Arsenal have got no spine to win ahead of.
Burnley have changed. People have not noticed. Burnley have changed their style of playing in those few seasons. They're not as
they're trying to
defensively
mix it up.
solid as they used to be.
Yeah, 100%.
But they just still have that air of around them, like who Burnley are. But anyway.
Next game is Man City versus Southampton. Truth is gone 3-0. I'll go first on this one. I am going to go 4-0 Man City. Mr. KA.
I wanted to say 4-0 as well, but I feel like saying 4-1. I'm saying 4. I'm saying 4-1.
4-1 to City.
I'm hoping for a Livramento assist or goal for my fantasy team. That's why.
Everyone's got Livramento.
Rash, for you, what are you saying?
7-0.
Come on.
Huh?
7. Nah, I'm joking. If I want to be serious, I will say 2-0 C.
2-0 City. Right, everyone's gone for City. Man City wins in that one. Next up, Liverpool versus Palace. The truth has gone with 2-2 draw. Rash for you.
2-2.
Rash for you. What are you saying?
Come back to me.
Mr. KA, what are you saying?
Oh, sorry, I just got my head's a bit funny. Who are we?
Liverpool Palace.
Liverpool Palace.
I'm going for 3-1.
3-1 Palace, yeah?
No, Liverpool. Liverpool at home.
3-1 Liverpool. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. Rash?
I'll go 1-1.
1-1, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. K, we're almost there. I know you're struggling through it. We appreciate it. Next up, we have West Ham versus Manchester United. Truth has gone with 3-1 to United. Mr. KA?
Going 2-2.
2-2 draw.
Without Antonio, you gone 2-2, yeah? That's brave, bro.
Rash?
2-0. Like United have got a very good record away at West Ham, so I'm going 2-0 United.
2-0 United. I am going 1-1. Yeah, 1-1 between West Ham and United. And finally, the big game of the weekend, Spurs versus Chelsea. The truth has gone for a 2-0 Chelsea away win. I'll go first on this one. I am going 2-1 Chelsea. Rash?
I will go 1-0 Chelsea.
1-0 Chelsea. And last but not least, Mr. KA, what are you going with?
This is a bit of a tough one because I was thinking 2-0 Chelsea, but you can also see easily being a 1-0 Spurs win. They like to do these funny results against the big clubs. But I'm gonna go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea as well for Mr. KA. And that is it, people, for the Prem prediction. There's nothing outrageous. I can't see anything outrageous there, but we'll see who wins. Obviously, it's the inaugural one for Rash, so we'll see if he can come out on top. The truth did win the last one. He did beat ST by 1 point. So I think that puts him on 3 now. Mr. KA on 1 and ST and myself on 0. But people, that is it from us. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Chelsea. Do you see Chelsea winning the league in the Champions League? Do you think Chelsea have started off like a house on fire? Or are you a bit more reserved, like Rash has said, being the Chelsea fan that he is? Let us know what you think about Spurs. Is the honeymoon period over? Is Nuno done already? I know Expressions has been calling for Nuno's head already after the 2-2 draw against Rennes, or is it just a blip? Will Tottenham come back because the lack of players? Arsenal, is it Arteta in? Is he going to go and beat the run that Arsene Wenger went on with Arsenal when they went undefeated for like, how was it, 48 games or something like that? Can Arteta emulate that? And let us know what you think about Mo Salah. Is he underrated? Is he underappreciated? Should he be spoken about more in the debate, in the Premier League greats of all time? Is he the greatest African player of all time? Will he be ahead of Drogba? Will he be ahead of Yolo Toure? Let us know what you think in the comment section. And before we go, because Mr. KA...
I'm still here.
I'm still here. To keep his eyes open.
I'm still here.
Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
And by the way,
get the likes up.
Now I was gonna say, Rash, in my setup, you're actually beneath me. So you're pointing to that. You're like pointing to, on my side. You're pointing to no one. You should have been like that. I'm in the middle on my setup, but I think it only matters with TJ's setup because he's the one recording and hosting. So
in my setup, Rash is doing the right thing, pointing down because that's where you are on my setup. But yeah, people, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, share, get it out there, and tell a friend to tell a friend that we are here. I want to say thank you very much to my guys, Mr. KA, and a special thank you to you, sir, for getting through the poddy with your cold, bro. I know you're struggling, and special thanks to Rash for joining us once again. Don't be a stranger to the podcast, Rash, man. We want you back on here. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
No, brother. I will be back.
People, coming up, Fight Talk should be back. Hopefully 2 setups all there because we've got UFC coming up. We've got AJ's fight coming up. We've got Fury Wilder coming up. So Fight Talk should be back. Even if 2's not set up, we'll probably do it without him because we've got so much to talk about. The F1 poddy will happen. It will be the first poddy without me. So you lot won't see my face. I won't be involved in that. That will happen. The man them will set it up and that will come to fruition. And don't be afraid, people. That unicorn is coming back. The NBA podcast will be coming soon. As the season starts, it will be coming. So people, loads more content for you. But I want to say stay safe out there and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.